Morning, YouTubers. So I watched the deegan thing about him going to an amateur event and this young kid, 17 years old, claiming his bike. Legit, he's following the rules. He definitely knows something's up and he wants to ride that bike. He wants to see how much more modified that bike is than the bike that he's currently racing. And you know what? The AMA officials and the people who support these events need to do a tech inspection. You have a top level rider coming there, so what? Call him out. PEDs, test him. See if he's clean. Who gives a shit? It's a part of the rules. Your bike's super hopped up. Sorry, dude. We're taking your bike. We're tearing it down. We're going to inspect it. If we find that, your bike is super modified with shit that you can't get, that doesn't level the playing field for these young guys coming up. You go to an amateur event, you're racing a whole class of people that don't have a Bugatti. How fair is that? It's not. Or a Lamborghini, or the fastest drag car in the country against the slowest, or a super bike against a mini bike. How is that leveling the playing field? That's not fair at all. Are they cheating? I'm going to tell you, there was a fucking reason why they didn't want that engine torn down and inspected, especially even the engine oil that was in it. There's something fishy about that story. Too much controversy over it. So what? You have $100,000 in your bike? Shame on you for fucking bringing it to that event. You couldn't beat or take first place or second or third on a factory bike with some mods? If you're that fucking good, you could. Don't tell me you can't. But you're going to go to a race with a bike that probably makes twice the horsepower, has 10 times the suspension. How's that fair? That's not fair to the whole entire class in the industry. So the AMA, all those guys need to step up and start targeting these dudes. Oh, your factory sponsorship rider, your bike is tech inspected. Tech inspect it before the race. Bring your mechanic, because we're going to tear it down and you can have him put it back together. But I guarantee that they start tearing it down, they're going to start at the top, pull the camshaft cover off. You guys ain't doing shit. Guaranteed. Let them get in the bottom end and see billet crankshafts, micro-polished, stroked out. Yeah, yep. How about test the fucking fuel? Those engines can't run on regular fuel. Possible. Those engines can't use regular oil either. That's why that dude said, that mechanic said, well, what are you going to do with this engine? If something happens to it, you can't get the parts to fix any of it. No shit. So, they were cheating. You can't tell me that the deegans didn't know about it because they got scared and paranoid and trying to confront this kid and torture him, trying to break him down, find out where the money comes from. Who gives a fuck where the money came from? Doesn't matter. You guys got scared for a reason. Your whole crew. That is not fair. I ride motocross. I haven't rode in a while. And there's guys with pure talent out there that know how to ride a bike. But they're not on a $50,000 or $100,000 factory custom modified bike. No, they're not. If James Stewart or Chad Reed or one of those dudes came up there and said, hey, I'm going to come and compete in your event, but I'm going to compete on a stock bike, they're still going to probably whoop everyone's ass. They're not going to beat them by 10, 20 minutes or in 3 laps. There's a reason why those bikes are so fast and handle so well. Could you imagine that? It's the truth. So I call bullshit. The deegans knew. The factory knew. They all knew what they were bringing. They all knew what they were bringing to the gunfight. They were bringing an AK-47 while these guys had a cap gun. Legit.